Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Granville Emerson, along with my partners Renault, Pepe Bean, and Otis Lil O Stevenson. This is LidLine Sports. A lot of sports to talk about tonight, fellas. Let's get right to it. I want to start with University of Washington. Jimmy Lake, head coach, had been on the block behind losing and not being able to recruit and losing recruits. And then they haven't beaten Oregon in a long time, played Oregon this past Saturday, and got drubbed. There's been much talk about firing the Washington Huskies offensive coordinator. Jimmy Lake pulled the trigger and fired him. I feel like that was like, okay, I'm going to fire him and send a smoke screen up there so y'all can stop looking at me so tight. What's up, Bill Walker Jr.? Because Jimmy Lake went off on one of his players and actually swung on them and hit his player with an open hand and then pushed him. And now he is suspended for one game without pay. Is that the start of it? Will he lose his job for cause? What do you all think? Pep?
You know, when I was watching it, it just seemed to me that he was just trying to get his player out of the, area of the skirmish. So I didn't think much of it, to be honest. Until afterwards, of course, they've been making a big deal of it ever since. I've been wanting them to fire Donovan a long time ago. I don't know what took so long, to do that. But I'm honestly not sure what they're going to do. I don't even think they know what they want to do. I think the suspension was something that maybe gives them some time to figure everything out as, going forward. So it depends on what happens, when he returns. We'll probably know more about what their plans are for 2022. So to be honest, I don't know. I think it's just a kind of a neutral zone right now.
Yeah, there it is on the screen for those of y'all looking. Yeah, he runs down there and then he hits the kid in the face. Like, I don't know. And then he pushes him. So I know when I saw it, I was like, oh, he's gone. Like, you can't really hit kids like that nowadays. Back in our day, Pep, that was nothing. that was ain't nobody saying nothing. And I don't know, but now you really can't touch kids. And so that was pretty egregious. As far as things go, I know they fired the Rutgers basketball coach for throwing balls and yelling at kids. And then they fired Greg Marshall from Wichita State for verbally and physically abusing kids. So I don't see how Jimmy Lake's going to stay. I just don't. I don't see it. I know enough alumni are really upset at him to begin with, and we're looking for a reason. And I feel like they gave him a reason.
They got one.
Yeah. And the only thing that I can say, and people always say, "Oh, Granville, you're always adding color into it. What does race have to do with it?" Well, he hit a black kid. I guarantee you, if he hit a white kid, he'd be out.
Yeah.
Today. And so that's just the reality of life. And so I don't know.
I mean, with a lot of those cases that you brought up, I mean, kind of to the point of race, a lot of those coaches were white, especially Greg Marshall. There was rumors for years that, he was really physically abusive and also verbally. You're right. With a black coach, I just feel like you don't have that much of a leash to even sweep things up under the rug for that long. Now, with this case, that was my first time seeing the incident. It looked like it was a heat of the moment. I do agree in today's age, everything is kind of blown out of proportion, but you can't put your hands on kids. But with the fact that UW has been so bad this year, I think that was just the iceberg or the ice on the cake. So, or however the front saying goes.
Yeah, that was the icing on the cake. It was the iceberg. It was the last straw. But whatever you want to say it is, that might be exactly what it is. I laugh to make light of it, but it's not a funny story. But I mean, I feel like, to me, like, I don't know, I didn't see it live. I just heard about it, and then I went to go look at the video yesterday on Twitter. And then when I saw him go all the way back and then bam, hit the kid like that, I'm like, oh, whoa. No, the push, if he would have just pushed him, Pep, that wouldn't have been nothing. It's just the fact that he hit him
right
with an open hand. That's the deal right there. And so
well, I didn't see that part. You know, I was watching the game, but I didn't see that because at the time, you know how you just turn away from the TV for a hot minute, and I think that's probably what I did, and I didn't see the hit, but I did see the push. And this is going to hurt, you know, as far as recruiting, because, you know, if he's sitting in someone's living room, you know, your grandma or auntie or mother, father, you know, how's he going to tell them that he's not going to hit their kid, you know?
Yeah. So I hate to see guys lose their job, you know, for something like that, where he didn't actually hurt anybody, but who knows, he could have. But I just think that it's just too much for him to overcome. I'd be very surprised. Very surprised.
Yeah, he doesn't have that kind of lead.
I'd be very surprised. I don't see him being able to be around UW kids for the remainder of the season, or even for another week, which is why I think they gave him the 1-game suspension to begin with. And then this week, I'm sure there's going to be a whole lot of talk about it with their lawyers, whatever. They owe him, or will owe him, $15 million. 15, 16, I don't know what the exact number is, somewhere around there. $15 million. So they'll be trying to figure out how to not pay him that and see if they can fire him for cause. And I don't know. If he does escape this, it'll be miraculous to me. And Pep, you said.
Yeah, Houdini.
Yeah, and you said that you mentioned recruiting. Well, the UW is already ranked like 50 in the 50s, which is horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't recruit now.
It's horrible, especially for Power 5 school.
Yeah. You got dudes leaving the state to go play elsewhere, which the UW has always gotten top players in state, and you're not doing that. And you're losing a recruiting battle to Oregon every year. So I don't see how he's going to make it. Jimmy Lake, I hope you
right.
I don't see you making it at the UW, but I do hope you get another chance to coach and be a head coach again. Hopefully this does not ruin his entire head coaching career for one bonehead mistake like that. That was a bonehead mistake for him to even hit the kid. Like, you can't hit kids. And, you know, I know as a coach, I've caught myself, like, just, you know, giving a kid a, come on, let's go, backhand to the chest. And like, oh, yo, man, I can't be caught on camera doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, man, wake up, let's go. Yeah. You know, like that. I'm like, oh, no, man, you can't do that. So it's just, you know, restraint. And then the irony of it all is he had preached to his players that they needed to be professional about the game and respectful of the game and not let their emotions get the best of them. What's up, John Ugley? Not letting their emotions get the best of him, and he let his emotions get the best of him. And I don't. I mean, and then to me, and the reason why I say he let his emotions get the best of him, because by the time he got there, it was over with, and no reason for even to hit the kid. It was over. He could have pulled him away further and talked to him, put his arm around him, said, "Come here, son." Right? But to hit him like you're angry,
right.
But hey, there's the old adage, pressure bursts pipes. He's under a lot of pressure. And so, anyway, on to better things. The Miracle Man, speaking of miracles, the Miracle Man has been cleared to play next Sunday for the Seattle Seahawks. Russell Wilson will be back under center just a few weeks after getting surgery on his finger and the pin removed. My question to you, Pep and O, and we'll go with you first, O. What do you think Russell Wilson will play like having sat out for 3 games for the first time in his 10-year career? They'll be in Green Bay where they haven't won in 20 years. Will Russ try to be the man, the hero? What do you think Russ is going to be like on Sunday? Oh?
Well, adrenaline's definitely going to be rushing for Russ. Like you said, first time not suiting up ever in the NFL for the last 3 weeks. Not only that, the Seahawks are going to play somewhere they haven't won in so long as well. So I think the energy will definitely be there. I will not be surprised if Seattle tries to get the run game going at first. Maybe put Russell Wilson in some short yardage situations. But I think they'll play their regular game. Luckily for Russ, I think he's been able to work out over the last few weeks. I think he'll be ready to go, though. And like I said, I just think just off of him just being professional at the game and always staying ready, always being ready, I think we'll see a similar Russ that we've been seeing for the last whatever years in the Seahawks jersey.
Yeah.
Well said, O. I think that Russ is going to have to. Well, I think he will just resume where he left off. He's not going to change anything, because if he tries to change something because of his injury or because of his lack of playing time, then they're going to be in trouble. Like you said, they need a running game for sure, and Green Bay is going to come after Russ. You know this because they already see vulnerability, and Green Bay is going to be mad because they lost last week and they got all the crap about Aaron Rodgers, which we'll be getting into later. So they're going to be hyped up as well. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding for the Seahawks. They're going to have to play a perfect game to win.
Yeah, I think that number one, I think that Russell Wilson saw something, learned something during the Geno Smith era, and that is we can go and get first downs on second down without trying to throw the ball down the field all the time, 30, 40 yards, and then wind up with third and long. And so I think he's kind of learned from that. I think he'll be charged with doing that, still taking shots, but in critical moments when we need a first down and can't afford to go 3 and out, we need to make sure that we get the first down and not necessarily the long ball that'll get us down in the scoring position. So that's my thought on that, and I'll be looking forward to seeing how he not for the term that most people think it means, but how he manages the game. He may be throwing to one Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. was placed on waivers today, and I want to know if you all think starting with you, Renault. If the Seahawks should claim Odell Beckham off waivers, there are several teams in front of the Seahawks on the waiver list that said that they will not claim Odell. Detroit, New York, the Saints. So they won't claim him off waivers. So he might fall to the Seahawks at 9, and they can claim him off of waivers. Or if he clears waivers, he says he wants to sign with the Seahawks. So, Pep, your thoughts on the Seahawks acquiring Odell Beckham, and then you, O.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a tough one because he's already said, like you said, that he wants to sign here via free agency, which is what he wants. He wants to clear waivers and sign as a free agent because he wants to be able to pick where he goes. But if the Seahawks are available to get him at number 9, if the ones at number 1 through 8 don't pick him up, then why not pick him up? I don't have a problem with it. It's not the same. It's not the same situation as Josh Gordon. There's baggage, but it's not the same type of baggage. So I wouldn't worry about that. And especially when a player says that he wants to be somewhere, he's not going to come here with no BS. You would think, right? So I think it would be good for the Seahawks to pick him up if they have the opportunity.
Oh,
yeah, Pep said it perfectly. If there's an opportunity to go get another playmaker for this offense, you go get it. He is another deep threat for Russell Wilson. He's also great in the flats to also get out and make plays. I also like being able to put Ty Lockett in the slot and have Beckham and Metcalf on the outside. I mean, that's an elite wide receiver group right there, which already is a great group as it already is. The Seahawks have a lot of room also to make up with Russell Wilson coming back in the deep AFC West. Any pieces that we could get would definitely help. So I hope we go get them, and I hope, like I said, I hope we can make that happen.
Yeah, the Seahawks moved into the NFC West.
NFC West, yes.
But they were originally in the AFC West, so there's no shade in that. I think that there's a couple things. That number one, Odell Beckham's available. He wants to come to Seahawks. You go get him. If you claim him on waivers, you have to pay him his $8 million salary. If he clears waivers, then you negotiate an entirely new contract. The good thing about, even if you do claim him on waivers, the Browns worked out a deal with them where they voided his final 2 years of his contract. So you don't have to worry about that. And so it's basically just a 8 or 9 game deal you got to worry about if you want to pay $7-8 million for 8 or 9 games. But since they're in the playoff hunt, then you do that. I mean, the Seahawks have $13 million in salary cap space, so you do that. And it's kind of like, to me, it's not like when T.O. came at the end of his career. It's not like you said, Pep. It's not like Flash Gordon, who had substance abuse problems and can never stay within the. You could smoke weed in the NFL, you just can't smoke a whole lot. So he just couldn't pass the test. So Odell Beckham Jr. has a lot of football left in him, and he's one of the top receivers in the league. And he'd be coming here trying to prove something, right? Which you always want, right? And then I believe that Russell Wilson also wants to prove that he can take a guy in like Odell Beckham Jr. and make him happy and spread the ball around. And so, he'd have not only OBJ and Metcalf and Lockett, but you'd have Gerald Everett at tight end too. So you're pretty formidable in your offensive weapons. So I think he'll be a Seahawk by 4:00 tomorrow, and then we'll see what happens from there. College basketball starts this week with the big game tomorrow night. Get your thoughts on it, O. Duke versus Kentucky, number 9 versus number 10.
I think it's going to be a fun season. I was just thinking, last year we didn't get to really see a lot of these heavyweight matchups or a lot of these before conference, non-conference matchups because of COVID. A lot of them were canceled. So just across the board, it's going to be fun to watch all these games. But yes, Duke, Kentucky, you don't get too bigger than those programs. This is Coach K's final year, so you throw that in there. And then you get to watch a whole bunch of elite freshmen across the board, starting with Paolo Banchero out of Seattle for Duke. I think that's going to be a fun game. I got Duke actually winning smoothly against Kentucky tomorrow. Like I said, just so much that Duke is playing for this year. The energy is going to be in their favor, but it's going to be a fun game to watch, though, regardless.
Pepster? Pep, can you hear me? He's looking like he can't hear me.
Yeah, I got a co-sign off of O.
What you watching, the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Yeah, I mean.
Listen for your name. That's all you can do is listen for your name. We can't have dead air, Pep.
I'm having a little trouble with the sound.
Oh, okay.
I'm having a little trouble with the sound, so I'm getting a serious delay.
Oh, we can hear you.
But I'm going to co-sign off of O again on that. I'm looking forward to. What was that?
You're good.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Pep's having some technical difficulties.
Can you hear me?
This is not T-Mobile commercial.
Yeah.
We can hear you fine. Guess you couldn't hear us. All right, so Pep has technical difficulties. We see if we can get him back later. In the meantime, so I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow night, Kentucky and Duke, because I want to see Paolo Banchero and see how he does in a real game. I think this year of college basketball is going to be very interesting to watch. Pep, your thoughts?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
You were echoing O before you left. Now your statements, please.
I didn't hear the question.
College basketball starts this week. Kentucky and Duke.
Okay. Can you guys hear me good now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited about it as well. I'm looking forward to the Duke Kentucky game. Last season I didn't really follow it that much, but this year I'm definitely going to be looking in. And of course, I want to see how well our own Paolo Banchero does. And like O said, he expects Duke to win smoothly. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody, so I don't know. I'm excited about the UW, and I'm anxious to see what Gonzaga does and this kid Chet Holmgren. So I'm looking forward to all of that.
Yeah, UW. They beat Central Washington like they were wet stamped, but they need some competition. Anyway, let's go through NFL Pep Talk real quick, and we'll catch you with the rest of it on the other side of the break.
All right. Well, it's been a tough week for the NFL. Yep. It's been a tough week for the NFL. I'm not even talking about the games on Sunday yet. But we all know about the tragic story about Henry Ruggs the third situation, DUI and speeding on Rainbow Boulevard in Las Vegas. going 156 miles per hour.
Incredible.
Hitting a Toyota RAV4. Huh?
I said it was incredible.
I couldn't hear you.
No, just go.
Oh,
just
yeah. You know, and he killing the driver, Tina O. Tinter, and her beloved dog. The old saying, nothing good happens after midnight, because this happened around 3:40 in the morning. And his Ruggs and his girlfriend were also injured, but they have non-life-threatening injuries. And he's going to face probably some time. He's going to have, it seems like he's getting charges added daily. So you're looking maybe up to 20 to 40 years, if that's from what I've been hearing. So, you know, it's a very senseless and sad story. But unfortunately, not just him. You know, people are still out there getting behind the wheel while being impaired. Terrible.
Yeah. It's a sad situation with Henry Ruggs and the Raiders in particular. And today, their other first-round draft pick in 2020 got kicked off the team for threatening to murder people on video. And so there's a lot going on with the Raiders. We got to take a break. And when we come back, we hope to have Pep's technical difficulties solved. And we'll have NFL Pep Talk and Lil O on the NBA. Hopefully he can update us on what's going on with Ben Simmons when we come back right after this. Don't go away.
I go to work like a doctor. When I rock the mic, you got to like the way I operate.
This is Paul Pearson, host of Star Time. And when I'm not using my GPS to navigate the land of 1,000 dances, I'm listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
November is American Indian Heritage Month, so please join Rainier Avenue Radio .world to celebrate all month long the history, the contributions, and the accomplishments of our first Americans. Again, please stay tuned to Rainier Avenue Radio .world to celebrate and honor American Indians during American Indian Heritage Month.
The beat of the Fox with nastiness is back on K-Fox Night Beat.
Yo, what's the deal? It's the legendary Hall of Fame DJ Mixmaster Ice UTFO.
What's up? Who you thought this is? This is Mix Live.
And this is Terry Lewis.
And I'm Grand Mixer GM.
What's up, y'all? This is DJ Third Degree.
This is JJ Hudson from the Hyde Children family.
Sunday nights from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's K-Fox Night Beat with DJ Nastiness.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing back the memories.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music.
Bringing Seattle's hottest music. Rainier Avenue Radio .world.
That's my noise.
Peace.
Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the cabinets from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Sergio LaCour's Love Lines.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour going to the lines. Who we talking to?
Sage Prince and Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Night Beat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
The beat of the Fox. K-Fox Night Beat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. The underground surround sound start time with Paul Pearson.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday evening sound sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to midnight. Sunday evening, your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio. Metro League High School Football is back.
You tackles off to the races. He could go all the way. He could go touchdown.
It's the return of Metro League High School Football, Friday and Saturday nights on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Makes a stutter step inside, breaks a tackle. He's going to take it all the way. He's going to take it all the way on the sideline.
Exciting Metro League football live on Rainier Avenue Radio .world. It's back.
You are listening to Rainier Avenue Radio .world. Don't forget to log on www.rainieravenue Radio .world.
Hello, I'm Granville Emerson, and you're listening to LidLine Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, Facebook Live, YouTube, Switch, and all of our podcast platforms. Let's go straight to NFL Pep Talk with Renault, Pepe Bean, and then we've got Otis Lil O Stevenson with the NBA. Fellas, hit it.
Hello, can you hear me?
You not ready, Pep?
Can you hear me? I can't hear you guys.
Just talk. You're okay. Just talk. All right. We're going to go to Lil O in the NBA. Oh, go.
Yeah, we're in week 5 of the NBA season right now, and just like with the NFL, there's been a lot of drama in the NBA as well, mostly regarding front offices in the NBA. The big news was coming out of the Phoenix Suns front office against Suns owner Robert Sarver. ESPN reporter Bax Holmes interviewed over 70 former and current employees that painted a picture of a very difficult work environment under Sarver, which included racism, sexist comments, a lot of lewd jokes, and this has been ongoing over the last 10 years. The commissioner, Adam Silver, and NBA has already begun an internal investigation. Before everybody jumps the gun, and I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong in this situation. I see a lot of people bring up the situation with the LA Clippers and their former owner. I can't think of his name right now. This situation
Donald Sterling.
Donald Sterling. This situation is going to be completely different. It is it's a lot of he said, she said. Now, with that being said, 70 employees, that's a lot. We all talked about it over last week. The NBA is going to have to find some type of physical evidence in order to remove Robert Sarver from his job or to make him sell the team. Is that fair? No. Some of the things that were said, Earl Watson, number one, saying that he heard Robert Sarver say the N-word in front of him. And like I said, Robert Sarver has denied most of these allegations. There's some allegations that he did say were true. A lot of them were a lot of jokes, crude jokes, which I still think if you're an owner of an NBA team, you hold yourself as the most professional manner as possible out of anybody on that team, because you are a reflection of the Phoenix Suns. So it's been pretty tough. All that being said, the NBA, the Suns have been going through starting off the season pretty lethargic. DeAndre Ayton didn't get paid. So it's just another added story for the Phoenix Suns. G, your thoughts on this story?
Yeah, I read the ESPN article that Pep sent me via Doreen. Thank you, Pep and Doreen. I just feel like Sarver is an a-hole. He just happens to manage or own the Phoenix Suns. Mm-hmm. And he's had a long history of being an a-hole. And he does what he does because he can get away with it and has gotten away with it. And a lot of stuff that he's being accused of doing, especially the use of the N-word, to me is his gratuitous use of the word in manners in which he can deny that he used the word. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So he repeats what other people have said and used the N-word. And that's what what's the Earl
Watson,
the coach.
Earl Watson,
yeah. That's what Earl Watson was mad about, and he told him to his face, "You can't use that word." Like he was like, "Well, Draymond Green uses it." He's like, "But you can't use that word." And so, but he does it anyway, like he's stupid. Like, and he does it on purpose. But like you said, it's not a Donald Sterling situation where he's caught on tape, right? and it's not a situation yet, unless there's a thorough investigation where they have any emails or texts. But he has a long history of people saying that he's been racist and misogynistic towards women. And so he's not a good dude. And so I actually hope that they find something so they can get rid of him, because he's pretty smug. He knows what he's doing. He knows what happened to Donald Sterling. So he's in full denial. So he's like, it's kind of like me when I was in college and I was, cheating. And I would tell my girlfriend, "You got pictures?" You ain't got no pictures. I ain't done nothing. I'm still lying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man.
That's what he's doing.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
He's denying everything. I know I didn't do it. You got pictures? You got evidence? Ain't nobody got no evidence, so I didn't do it. But everybody's saying he did.
Yeah, no, you're right. You hit it right on the tail. It's like it's a whole bunch of he said, she said stories. I just think it's a tough situation. It's going to be a long investigation. It's not going to just wrap up in a few weeks.
Yeah.
And this will linger throughout the whole NBA season for the Suns. And the same thing has kind of happened over for the Portland Trailblazers now as well. There's been reports that General Manager Lil O Stevenson is under investigation for workplace misconduct. I guess it was kind of a not surprise around the Portland Trailblazers organization that he has always been accused of bullying and intimidating employees. And the Blazers ownership has begun their own internal investigation. But, this is a monopoly effect. Starting off with the Phoenix Suns, more stories I think will trickle throughout like the next 10 years of hearing things like this from management. There's just too many things social media wise. People aren't afraid to speak up anymore. I think there's just too much out there for everything to be swept under the rug like this. So it's just unfortunate situations for both those franchises. And then, G, talking about, you brought up Ben Simmons. They've been hit with not just Ben Simmons being out. COVID has hit them hard, and started out with Tobias Harris last week getting COVID. And then today, Joel Embiid was not going to play due to rest. And then it came out saying that he was under COVID protocols. That's two players. As of right now, they're two best players. And then on top of that, you're right. They're without Ben Simmons, who is trying to figure out a way to keep getting paid without having to play a game. And the 76ers finally took it back up another notch and has started fining Ben Simmons again until he cooperates with team physicians on his mental health, as Ben Simmons is using for saying he's not ready to play right now. And the timeline of that is he showed up to training camp finally, and then got kicked out of practice by head coach Doc Rivers, and then says he was not mentally ready to play. And the 76ers tried to get him with their team physicians, and he has refused. And now that money's getting taken out of his pocket, so now he's decided to go talk with physicians under the 76ers. So we all said this. This is a game of him trying to collect as many checks as possible without having to play. Now, there is a rumor that the Celtics have picked up the phone to discuss a possibility of a trade for Ben Simmons. And we all know the Boston Celtics woes. The problem will be, and maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not, it's going to have to include Jaylen Brown, who is a young budding all-star, but Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown is not getting along, so maybe it's time to end that run. And then
look for that to happen.
Yeah, I agree on both sides.
Yeah, I mean they need each other at this point, right? I mean, up until that point where it became public that Smith and Light Skin Mamba were beefing, and nobody knew. But ever since it's come out, everybody sees it, and it's getting progressively worse.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and then they're both ball hogs, right? Which is what Marcus Smart was complaining about. And so they could use somebody like Ben, who's a distributor, and will play that role. And then Marcus Smart, I guarantee you, if Ben Simmons goes there, his offensive output goes up.
I agree.
So, Pep, you got a thought?
Yeah, if they make that trade, Philly wins. Because, boy, I tell you what, if they get Jaylen Brown to go with Tobias Harris and Joel Embiid, man, that's going to be
You guys keep throwing that name Tobias Harris out there like he's actually done something. I've been waiting 3 years.
He's been consistent during the regular season.
Yeah, but
I hear you when it comes to big moments. I hear you when it comes to
the playoffs and you get paid $156 million. Nobody caring about no regular season.
180.
Hey,
yeah, well, see, that's
look,
worse.
he's definitely overpaid.
Wait, he's stealing.
Agree. Definitely is. Yeah, so that's going to be a situation we definitely keep our eyes on. And then, I wanted to highlight some young players so far to start out this season. Number one, it's actually thanks to him that I brought these guys up. Cole Anthony, I watched him play last week. He has taken a step in the right direction. The son of former NBA player Greg Anthony, he is carrying the Orlando Magic as much as he can. He's averaging 20.7 rebounds and 5 assists. The young athletic guard can play, and he's showing that he has a bright future. Miles Bridges, he's been balling. Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets passed up 4 years, $60 million from the Charlotte Hornets last summer for an extension. That gamble is looking like it's going to pay off. He is putting up 22-7 for the young Hornets. I think him and LaMelo Ball play really well off each other. They're going to have to pay that man or somebody else will. And then a name that I brought up before the season started, Tyler Hero. We talked a lot about his disappointing injury-riddled season last year. He has been – what was that, G?
I didn't say anything. Is my lips move?
No, I was hearing the echo. My bad.
Oh, okay.
He has been off to a great start as well. He's looking like an all-star, which a lot of people saw from him in the bubble in the playoffs last 2 years ago when they lost to the Miami Heat in the finals. And then no surprise here, John Morant so far is looking like a young MVP. The question has been brought up over the last year now, should he have gone number one in that 2020 draft with Zion Williamson, who has been out for the last month and a half. He's putting up 25, 7, and 5 all over the floor. His jump shooting has gotten much better so far to start out the season. So has his decision making, and that boy is he is something else. And then some quick NBA news. TNT is going to suspend their national TV games on Thursday due to the poor ratings because of Thursday night football. That will begin, though, back in January. So you'll only be seeing Chuck, Shaq, and the crew on Tuesdays for right now. And then Deron Williams. When's the last time you heard that?
They blaming it on football? Wait, back that thing up. They blaming it on football?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's necessarily a blame. I think they're just saying that
their ratings are low.
Yes.
It's because their game is trash. That's why their ratings are low.
Yeah.
I've tried to watch. I mean, it's some pretty bad basketball being played in the association.
I agree.
You got dudes coming down court, literally, 3 brick, 3 air ball, 3 brick, 3 air ball, 3 air ball, swish, 3 brick. Who wants to watch that crap?
And scoring's been down so far to start this NBA season, and guys aren't shooting the ball that well. So yeah, no, you're right.
Because they're taking threes.
Yep, you're right. You're right about that. Ex-NBA star Deron Williams. Played for Utah Jazz, Brooklyn Nets. He's going to be in an undercard fight in the I can't remember, not Jake Paul. Oh, actually, Jake Paul and then Tyson Fury's little brother.
Yeah, forget about that. We're running out of time. We got to get back to Pep. Hit the power rankings for me right quick.
Power rankings, I got it right for you. Golden State Warriors, number 1. They have been the best team in the NBA, not even so far. Number 2, the Miami Heat at 7-2 right now, playing great basketball. The Philadelphia 76ers, I talked about their COVID issues. They were on a 4-game win streak as soon as Tobias Harris went out. They're at 8-2. Dropped the Utah Jazz down to 4. Took a loss to Orlando Magic yesterday. And then the Brooklyn Nets, doing it on the defensive end. And then KD is being KD. They're at 7-3, and they're at number 5.
They lost.
What was that?
Go ahead, Pep.
All right. You want to go back to NFL, or you want me to comment on? Oh,
whatever you want to do, just do it. What is happening?
All right. Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID, and it's been discovered that he was not vaccinated. He's been unmasked during pressers and inside the Packers facility. The NFL does not mandate every player to be vaccinated. However, heavy penalties are incurred if you're not and you test positive for COVID-19. He went on Pat McAfee show on Sirius XM and tried to defend his actions, claiming cancel culture, media witch hunt, and also he's been getting COVID advice from podcaster Joe Rogan. He also blames the media for saying he was immunized, and they did not ask him a follow-up question about the vaccination. So he's calling himself not an anti-vaxxer or a flat earther. Now, is that a shot at Kyrie? I don't know. But he's calling himself a critical thinker. And most of us feel he left a flat-out liar. So, who was mocking the system. So he's eligible to come back Saturday, November 13th, barring any further positive COVID tests, and which means, quite frankly, that he'll be most likely be on the field Sunday against the Seattle Seahawks.
Okay, first of all,
on that?
First of all, let me say this, and then you can chime in. I just want to say this one thing. First of all, they asked him, "Were you vaccinated?" He said, "Yes, I'm immunized." Okay, so that's a deception. That's a lie. He said, "Yes, I've been vaccinated. I have immunization because I've been vaccinated." That's what that means. He clearly says, "Yes, I'm immunized." Clearly. Go ahead, O.
Yeah, no, you hit it right on the head. That's the part that kind of actually pissed me off, is him being able to use his privilege, and not just even white privilege, it's star privilege of being able to get away with saying I'm immunized. And then on top of that, making it worse, the NFL and the Packers knew this whole time and quote unquote saw him as an unvaccinated player, but was doing things that only vaccinated players can do. We saw pictures of him being able to talk in the media without a mask. Can't do if you're not vaccinated. Saw him being able to talk to players on the field without a mask. Can't do that if you're not vaccinated. So I'm not just frustrated with Aaron Rodgers in this situation. It's the NFL and the Packers as well. It's egregious that he is also getting away with not any type of fine or suspension or anything of that sort. It's just almost like this is going to get swept under the rug after he comes back. And yeah, that's really frustrating in my eyes.
Yeah, he's making a mockery of the whole thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
absolutely.
And lying his way through it. And then this whole nonsense about my body, my whatever, has nothing to do with him lying.
Yeah,
it's a whole smoke screen.
Yeah,
the vaccination is not even the issue. It's you lying about the vaccination.
I agree.
It's not nobody telling you what to do with your body. You had a choice to not do it, take the vaccination and put anything in your body, just like Carson Wentz had a choice. And he said, "I'm not going to get vaccinated," but he's followed the protocols.
Yep.
He chose to lie and deceive people. He should be fined and suspended, and the team should lose a draft pick bar minimum. Hell, if it was Jameis Winston, he'd be suspended for the season.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows that. If Cam Newton is out of the league just for violating the protocol, that he got tricked, he got deceived, and he didn't even know he was doing it.
Yep.
Has Roger Goodell spoke on this yet?
No, I haven't heard anything from the league.
Yeah, I didn't think that's so whack, man.
Because they're obviously complicit.
Exactly.
They were just letting him do it, whatever he wanted to do, hoping he didn't get COVID.
Yep.
That's like stupid. All right, Pep, you got like 5 minutes.
Yep. All right, so now for the games, you know, there was so many upsets yesterday. First place Bills lost to Jacksonville. How did Jacksonville? Man. First place Raiders lost to the Giants. First place Cowboys got spanked by Denver at home, but no less. They were down 30-0 at one point. The Saints, who beat the Bucks last week, go home and lose to the Falcons. And if that weren't enough, the Rams got smacked around by Tennessee without Derrick Henry. What is going on in the NFL, my brothers? Because, man, we always say it every week, don't we? Week to week. So next week, all the teams that won will probably lose. I don't know. It's crazy. It's hard to make predictions now. I don't know about if you're in a pool or not, but I tell you what, my last 3 weeks, I've been terrible.
Week to week league.
So, you know, Detroit. Yeah, so Detroit, well, I guess it doesn't matter about them. Seattle, Washington football team, and Tampa, I guess they're all pretty much glad that they didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, well, I think there's a couple things going on in the league. Number one, NFL is a league of parity. That's the first thing. And everybody has the best players in the world that are playing on the team. And so that's why it's any given Sunday in the NFL. The other issue is 17 games, right? So our guys taking games off mentally, right? And so when you have a team like Buffalo and they're going into Jacksonville, and I guarantee you, this kind of happens to my high school team, right? When we're really good and we do film study, and you break down the film of the other team, and you see how terrible they are, and you think you could just show up and play and win, right? And that's what happened to the Buffalo Bills. They didn't take Jacksonville seriously. If you watch the film of the Seahawks game against Jacksonville, yes, Jacksonville looked like a JV team. I hadn't seen a team play that bad in the NFL in a long, long time. They looked terrible against the Seahawks. And so Buffalo took them lightly, and Jacksonville knew they played terrible and came out and tried to prove something and did it. Buffalo only scored, what, 3 points, 6 points? Was it 9 and 6?
No touchdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's that high-powered offense. So, yeah, and then Josh Allen had something to prove, you know, because everybody kept calling him the other Josh Allen.
Yep.
And so he's like, say my name, Josh Allen, Jacksonville. Say my name, Josh Allen, Jacksonville. So he had like a whole bunch, 8 tackles, the interception. He dominated the game.
Yep.
Sure did.
Yep. Is that it? That's all you got?
Yep, that's it.
Okay. All right.
That's all I got, brother.
All right. So NFL is week to week. We'll see what's going on next week in NFL. Before we go, I want to give a shout out to the Atlanta Braves for defeating the Houston Astros 4-2 to win the 2021 World Series. And also want to give a shout out to Atlanta manager. Well, actually, he's the infield coach, Ron Washington, who had played in the major leagues from 1971 to 1990 and has been a coach since then. So he's been in the major leagues for 50 years. And this is his first World Series championship. So shout out to Braves infield coach Ron Washington, a World Series champ after 50 years in
well deserved.
The major leagues. So I think we covered it all as much as we can cover. We thank you all for listening and dealing with us and staying with us through the technical difficulties. Renault Pepe Bean is the man with the NFL knowledge, and Otis Lil O Stevenson is always on the case in the NBA with the poor ratings this season. This is a first for me, that these dudes can't do Thursday night basketball on TNT. And plus TNT is the highest rated basketball show that the NBA has. So that's really saying something right there.
Yeah.
And so that they can't compete with Thursday night football.
Yeah.
That's wild. So anyway, LidLine Sports.
Yeah. Well, they're promoting Tuesday night big time now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I'm Granville Emerson along with Renault Pepe Bean and Otis Lil O Stevenson. You're listening to LidLine Sports on Rainier Avenue Radio, Facebook Live, Twitch, YouTube, and all of our podcast platforms. I will not be with you guys next Monday. First day of practices for high school basketball in the city of Seattle. I will be at basketball practice next Monday night. Hold it down.
Lil O's birthday on Wednesday, too.
Cash out.
Oh. Happy birthday.
Like a doctor.
What's 25 now?
Yep.